Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now you join me travelling across London because for this week's video I recorded a couple of days off that I had from work and just things that I wanted to do. There's me on the bus, but when I came to edit this video I realised that actually I didn't really speak much when I was filming, so I thought probably best to just do a bit of a voiceover. So here I am travelling off to Fulham to go and meet my friend Moose. And we are off to an art exhibition called Art in the Age of Now, which is being held in the disused Fulham Town Hall, which is super cool. I managed to see this when Moose posted up a TikTok video that somebody else had taken of the exhibition, and so I contacted her and said, yes please, let's go along. So that's what we did. So here we are, we've made our way into the exhibition, which you'll be pleased to know was free. It's on until the 20th of June as well, so if you did want to go along, you've got just a couple of days left to go, so do make sure that you head down there because it's probably one of the best exhibitions I've been to. So inside it's like an amalgamation of different artists from all over the place. I think all possibly London-based artists. I'll leave the link for the show in the description underneath, so you can check it out too if you want to. But yeah, I think it's pretty much London-based artists. And it was a real mixed media kind of show. There was all sorts of stuff from oil paintings through to like that cool lenticular print that you just saw there, sculpture like this dude, light installations like this one here, with lots of cool things going on. It was such a varied, cool show, and the fact that it was set in this amazingly old, decaying town hall just kind of added to the ambience of things. So here's a rare sighting of a moose in the wild. There she is, just hanging out there with our new buddy. Moose also has a YouTube channel of her own, so I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can check that one out, because you definitely should do, because she makes lots of really fun videos about all sorts of different topics. And if you like my channel, then you'll definitely like hers as well. So yeah, do make sure that you go and check her out, and also tell her that I sent you. So in this room here, this was like a really interesting piece of art. The idea of this being that actually it's the light and the shadows which are the artwork in this room, and not necessarily the box that is projecting them, even though the box was super cool as well. So this was just like a light stick that had two lights on each end, and it just rotated slowly through this box here that had all these different geometric shapes on it, just like these squares that intersected with each other, and it just projected over the whole room. And the room itself was really nice. The doors were really cool as well because it was the old lady's cloakroom. And here we have a dancing kind of strange statue ram type thing. Moose and I really liked him. He's quite kind of pagan-y, and I just wanted to show you a bit of the sort of juxtaposing windows there. Now this painting reminded me a lot of the American Gothic with the two people standing outside a house, and I really just liked the style it was painted in. Then we went through into another room that had these really nice, good, decent oil paintings that were just so well painted. And also in this room as well, they had the plans for what the building is to become. It's being turned into a hotel, and I think they're planning to keep quite a lot of the interior, not quite the way that it is, but things like the wood paneling and stuff, because it's just such a beautiful building that it would be such a shame to change it too much. So I think that is what they're planning, is to kind of restore it a bit to its former glory. But with this exhibition, this is the first time this building's been opened for loads of years, and they just kind of wanted to turn it over to the community to be able to use it in a way that they thought was fitting for its last hurrah.
What would you like?
I will have a pint of your best bitter, please.
Okay. Oh god.
I can't drink this, it's air.
So after having a refreshing pint of air, we continued on through the exhibition. So just again, the building is just so stunning. I just really hope that they can return it to its former glory. Just the things like these, like 1930s tiles were amazing. It has like this courtroom slash church thing in the middle of it as well. Here we see a stormtrooper being crucified, because why not? And it just felt like such an honour and a privilege to be able to just explore this building before it gets redeveloped. It was just really good fun to be able to do that, because it's just something that you just don't really get to do every day. And here's the stormtrooper again. This Banksy here. We don't know whether it was a real one or not. It has got the Banksy logo in the corner of it. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. There was nothing really to say that it was. Here's Moose hiding and also appearing again, and then going down some stairs. So this room was one of my favourites. I can't remember the name of the room itself, but there was a guy who has been at the Notting Hill Carnival every year and always has a tent there, and that was his room. So I think you can go in there on weekends and have a drink still. And yeah, I think that's what that room was intended for. Now this is leading down into the basement, which just looks like the coolest goth club in the world. So of course I had to get Moose to pose in the corner. There she is doing her modelling. And we found these incredible collage type, you wouldn't call them paintings, but like assemblage type things, sculptures, I guess, just incredibly detailed and just really cool. Just, you could look at them for ages and keep on finding stuff in them. And they're by an artist called Webbo, who was also selling some stuff in the shop there. Way too expensive for me to afford, but if you like their work and you have a spare 1,000 and something hanging around, then maybe that would be for you. Here's Moose having another closer look at some of those pictures as well. And here's just another little bit of the building that just I thought was so cool. It was just so Victorian out the back. It just looked like nobody had touched it for years and years and years. Can't really properly see it through the dirty window there, but it just was like this cool little courtyard. This was a weird sort of 3D turning painting down the end of a corridor that you couldn't really go and look at yourself, but you could see it from the end of the corridor. And here's another one of the rooms that's just been completely decorated and spray painted, and adding in all these portraits as well, which I don't know who they were, but they were cool. If you fancy playing a drinking game, then you can just drink every time I say cool, and you'll end up being quite drunk by the end of this video, I would assume. So we're now down in the basement of the exhibition, and this is where a lot of the old cells for the town hall were, so where they would hold people who were being tried in the court upstairs, which I think was the church type building. So down here was quite kind of spooky, a little bit kind of dystopian looking, and just like obviously right up my street. I really liked being down here, and all these little cells just had their own artworks and things in them as well, just takeovers by one artist for each room. Here's a slow-mo shot of some incense, which Moose told me to do, which turned out really cool. So if you ever fancy filming some slow-mo, film some slow-mo of some incense. That's the bit of ash falling off of it there. Now this room was another one of the sort of cell type rooms down the bottom, not like, some of them were actual proper cells. I think these were probably some kind of like interrogation rooms or something like that, I'm not too sure, or probably just offices, probably nothing too interesting really. There's Moose in a lineup with lots of other famous artists. Now that guy was quite scary, neither of us really wanted to go too close to him, even though it was just a model. It was quite freaky in those areas again, because it was just sort of that cell type thing. Here's two bunk beds. The story behind that one was actually quite sad. The artist's son actually had cancer, and so the lines between the two beds were meant to be like tumours. That's what it said on the pinboard next to it. These rooms, I don't really know too much about them because there wasn't really any information on them, but they were just, I loved how they were completely decked out in one particular style. There's Moose looking cool in the doorway. And here's this guy who popped up a couple of times in the exhibition, this pink bear. I don't really know too much about him. I think it might just be called the pink bear. Again, this whole uncanny valley thing of models, and just, yeah, I don't necessarily like that sort of thing because I just feel like they might turn around and go boo. But I really liked the sort of singularity of the colour in this room. I just thought that was really nice, and just, you know, completely immersive sort of interesting kind of thing. You just never see rooms like that. Here we are again, back to some shots of the lovely buildings, just so stunning in there. And Moose and I both really loved this artist. I just really like this style. I don't even know what you would call this style, but they're just kind of slightly faded, fuzzy looking advertising pictures. And they just, I don't know, they just did something for me. I just really, really like them. And the name of this artist, I did make sure that I got a little bit of footage of the name of the artist as well, just in case you guys want to check him out. Not every room had the name of the artist. But this guy did make sure to actually put a big bit of text saying who this was, and this room just made me really nostalgic, I think, because it was all the stuff that I used to get from the corner shop when I was little. This room, I really liked the kind of boldness of these paintings and the colours that were used. This one, just kind of some pictures, not really my thing, but yeah, cool nonetheless. This was upstairs again, so we ended up down in the basement and then back upstairs again, and headed into the main ballroom. And here was something called Los Angeles, which from pictures before, it had been standing up, but they'd knocked it down to write orb. And that's because I think they were touting an event that they were having where somebody from the Orb was coming to DJ at the exhibition. So this is continuing on upstairs, and this was a series of just really little tiny rooms. So I would assume like probably offices or some kind of like little record keeping areas. Some of them were safes as well. They had big safe doors on them, so yeah, probably, I don't know, something to do with record keeping. And then this nice little sort of chill out kind of hangout area as well was upstairs too. This little room, which again was behind a sort of safe door, said you were allowed to draw on the walls, so we did. Moose grabbed hold of a pen and so did I, and we just scribbled on the walls with the prompt of "My hell is." So Moose ended up writing "Live deliciously" on the wall, and I wrote "Other people." So there we are. This little guy reminded me of Midsummer, kind of like the May Queen, that sort of thing. This room was kind of quite press-like, sort of lots of like bold text sort of paintings, and this one was another one of those little safe rooms with some black light in it. And then another one of these little offshoot rooms as well with some stuffed bodies in it, I guess you would call them. Space helmets, one of them with Princess Diana on it, because of course, and also a astronaut in the corner. And then also there was just this place just was so huge, just turn after turn. We ended up spending hours and hours in there in the end, and you can just see how huge it is and how stunning this place will be when they bring it back to its former glory. I hope that they kind of bring a bit of the decaying side of it into it. I don't know whether they will or not, but it's just really nice to kind of see a building like this, because you just don't get to see it every day. And this huge room that they had here, there was a big photo shoot going on in here, so we couldn't explore it as fully as I wanted to, but it had a couple of big sculptures in there. And here's some big stacked bananas, because why not? This little girl here was super creepy, you know, for obvious reasons, and also the fact that it's just, you know, a little hooded figure is a little bit terrifying too. Loved that little painting. I think it was painted on a tile. Bit more of the decaying building here for you, but you can see it's just absolutely stunning at some point, and it's just sat vacant for like 20 years or something now. And this was really interesting. This room was all to do with somebody that has a theatre at Glastonbury every year. Well, when Glastonbury's running, and they just make these incredible creations. And this was the Defying Gravity boat, which just cannot get my head around how they've managed to do that. I think it's got something to do with the arm that was holding it up there, but I don't know. It's just magic, isn't it? That's all it is. And they just make things out of stuff that they find, so it's just all completely reused items. And yeah, they just lit it really well and just was really kind of stunning and pretty. I don't know whether they make these things move normally or whether it's just kind of a static display that they have at Glastonbury, but yeah, just was really cool. So if you've ever seen it at Glastonbury, then let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what it looks like there. So in this room as well, there was a guy who was wandering around. He was touching all the artwork. Don't touch the artwork. It's not there for touching. It's there for looking. So there he is. So named and shamed. And now this is after the exhibition. So Moose and I went on to go and have a drink at Ye Olde Cheshire Cheese, which is a pub that was near her train station. And I love this pub. If ever I get the chance to take people there, I always will. It's just a really nice oldie woldy, well, I say Victorian, it's even older than that. This pub's got so much history behind it. and it's just stunning. So yeah, I always take people to Ye Olde Cheshire Cheese. And speaking of cheese, Neil and I went out that evening to the cheese bar called Pick and Cheese. It's like a sushi type deal, so you basically sit in front of the cheese bar as it rotates, and well, the conveyor belt goes, and you help yourself to as much cheese as you like. It's unlimited on certain days of the week, which is the deal that we went for because, you know, I'm a right cheapskate. And so, yeah, I think we definitely got our money's worth because I think it was about £20 each, and we definitely ate way more cheese than that. There's Neil struggling with a pickle and some cheese and some ham. My only critique of it would be that need more crackers. You have to ask them for crackers, which I think is a bit of a swizz. You don't have to pay for them though, but yeah, you do have to ask for them, which is how I think they stop you from basically being able to eat more cheese. And here's our big stupid faces for you to look at as well. I wasn't saying anything, I was just picking some ham out the back of my tooth there, so that's lovely for you. And we finished off the night with, well, I finished off the night with a G&T at the pub. And then we went home. Now, I forgot to take any videos of this, but as you may have guessed, we obviously went and just hung out with some celebrities the next day. I decided we should seize the opportunity to go to Madame Tussauds because obviously during the pandemic there is nobody there at the moment, so it's very easy to sort of whiz round it and get some good photos and not have to queue to take things. Obviously some of the waxworks there are great, some of them aren't. Here's me being punched in the face by this guy. I don't know anything about sports, so I don't know who any of these people are. I think that's Jessica Ennis. That's I don't know. Here's Amy Winehouse and me. And also the cool thing is that they still have some of the Chamber of Horrors stuff downstairs. So here's Marat in this bath being murdered. A basket full of severed heads that Marie Grossholtz is about to collect and model for herself. There she is modelling one there, and there's an original wax figurine that she used to use to help her make things. Now that's the oldest waxwork that they have in Madame Tussauds. It's from 1700 and something and was made by Philippe Curtius, not even Madame Tussaud herself. And there's Madame Tussauds' death mask as well. And here's Neil and Chewbacca and me having a night out with Chewbacca, which is what it looks like, selfie down the pub. And then obviously Baby Yoda has to join in. It's not Baby Yoda, it's normal Yoda. And then Darth Vader not wanting me to leave the pub. And here's King Kong for you. And that concluded our trip to Madame Tussauds. So here we are the next day on the mail rail, which is zooming us underneath London in some teeny tiny little tunnels. This train is so small, we had to squash right in to be able to fit into it. I really highly recommend it if you are in London and you want something a bit strange and unusual to do. It's pretty cheap as well, and it's just loads of fun. I just really enjoyed this, and they sort of take you underneath London, and unfortunately I filmed it in portrait mode, so apologies for that. This is us going through one of the old stations. They give you a bit of history, but I'm not going to turn up the sound for you because I don't want to ruin it if you are planning to go on it, because it is quite a good fun thing to do and I just really enjoyed it. So if you get a chance to do that, then great.
Hiya.
Where are we?
We're in Farringdon. Farringdon?
No.
No, it's around the corner from Farringdon, isn't it?
Is it?
Camberwell?
No. Try again. Begins with a C.
Yeah.
3 days later.
I'd like to say that Neil's had 2 pints.
It's...
I've been sitting here for days!
Blair.
It's the name of Madness song. Clerkenwell.
There we go. 2.5 pints, I should say. Where have we been today?
2.5 pints?
I've been to the Postal Museum and the Postal, the old underground tubes. Yeah, went to the Postal Museum, saw the cats, did the tube thing.
Saw the cats and the tube thing.
Clerkenwell. We're going to head over to Shoreditch, which is only half an hour's walk.
Half an hour's walk.
An hour and a half's walk.
An hour and a half's walk.
Okay.
Half an hour's walk.
Half an hour's walk.
I interrupt this chaos.
Yeah, well done, thank you.
Cheers. There you go. Here's your mate.
Your mate. So we're going to go to Dishoom now.
Yes.
So this morning we went to the Postal Museum, went on the mail rail, which was fun, and now I've had 2 very strong beers, so I'm feeling a bit rosy. No inventive filming, thank you, and yeah, I'm going to go and have some dinner.
Yeah. But a nice day, nice relaxing day so far.
Filmed a bit from each of my days so far of our time off. So should be able to pull this together into a
Jumping in again here to say that my dress here is made by the lovely Moose. So there we go. She's not just a pretty face, she can also make a lot of amazing clothing as well. She has her own clothing brand called Exo Umbra, so again I'll pop that in the description so you can check it out. Here's us now on our way to Shoreditch, walking down the lovely Exmouth Market here. It's a really nice little street in Clerkenwell, so if you're ever in that area and you're looking for a nice place to go and eat, then that's a really good place to go. Got loads of nice little independent restaurants and shops and things, so if you're ever in that area, then make sure you check it out. Here we are in Dishoom, just waiting for our food to arrive. Dishoom, again, cannot recommend this place enough. I love going there, it's just so good. And that sort of concludes everything really. So here we are on the way home, being tired and full of food and having had a lovely few days off in London. Despite the pandemic, it's still possible to do things at the moment. Thank you for watching my video today. Sorry that it's a little bit different than usual, but I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us. If you want to check out a little bit more history about Madame Two Swords, because I find that place absolutely fascinating, then there is a video which I will link here, so you can click along through it now. I will see you guys next time. Thanks to our Patreon producers as usual. I can't fit you all in before the end of the video, and I will see you. Bye!